Hello, I'm Terry David Mulligan, and this is Mulligan Stew, the podcast, music, film, food, and wine. If you do interviews over the course of a lifetime, you end up making some pretty good friends along the way. One of those friends, for me, has been Ed Robertson and the Barenaked Ladies. Not just Ed, but the whole group. At one time, up until about 10 years ago, when we did interviews with Barenaked Ladies, it was the whole group. It was just an amazing exhibition of vocal dexterity. And then Stephen left the band, co-writer with, of course, Ed Robertson, one of the signature voices of Barenaked Ladies, took his talent and left the band. And they have carried on, played thousands of gigs, released their albums, and flew the Barenaked Ladies flag. Their current album is called Fake Nudes. So it's fair to say they didn't throw out their sense of humor. So here we are, JUNO weekend, March the 24th and 25th in Vancouver. And the Barenaked Ladies are being inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. And in order to make that right, all of the original members will be on stage playing together and accepting the honor. That means Stephen Page, who 10 years ago said, "I'm not looking to be a full-time member again." And Ed Robertson, who told the Huffington Post, "I don't think anybody's in a hurry to work together again." They've all put that aside. You know they had a long conversation. It'll be an interesting human dynamic at the Junos. They're going to be introduced, by the way, by their friend Geddy Lee from Rush. So here's a conversation, fresh and spanking clean, has that new car smell, with Ed Robertson from the Barenaked Ladies. Hello, Ed.
Terry David Mulligan. The name sounds familiar.
I was there with your younger years. How you doing?
I am doing so good, Terry. It's a bit ridiculous.
I like to hear that. Well, we approach a moment in time, a moment of truth that I didn't think, I'd set my heart on it that you and Stephen and the ladies would never get together. This event would never happen, but you're being honored by the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, which is a big deal. And
it's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal, and you have to come together in order to be honored. Otherwise, what? You wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, sure. I mean that's just a reality. You know, Steve was in the band for 20 years. We started the band together. We wrote hundreds of songs together. And it wouldn't make any sense to do this induction without him. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I think it's going to be really fun. It's been a great opportunity for us to kind of reconnect and put some of the sewage water under the bridge.
Yep.
and just reconnect and you know, celebrate all the good things we did together.
What are the fans saying, Ed?
I think the hardcore BNL fans are very excited. The thing is, we are too, right? Like, that's a big part of the legacy of the band, and it's going to be really fun to celebrate this thing together. You know, the band is in a very different place now. We're 10 years on. Lots of records and probably about 1,000 shows, but those first 20 years, that's the foundation of who we are. So it's going to be a very cool weekend.
It took time to heal, didn't it? I remember there was a quote from you, Huffington Post, I think it was. I don't think anybody's in a hurry to work together again. I mean, you just had to go your separate ways. So what? Other than this moment, what was the first conversation? How did you extend a hand to one another?
Well, honestly, I did a couple of days of sort of stressing of like, okay, what is this going to be like? How do we approach it? What are people going to think? And then I just thought, oh, this is ridiculous. And I just texted Steve and I said, hey man, I'm really proud of this. And I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you're proud of it too, and I hope we can find a way to make it feel good for everybody, you know. And luckily, he texted me right back and he said, "Yeah, man, I'm so excited. I'm really proud, and I'm looking forward to it. And whatever you guys are comfortable with, you know, let's do this. Let's have a good time."
Did you have to do those years apart just to have that conversation? Did it really take time to heal? Because I mean, friends are friends, right? People who write hundreds of songs together, those are really nerve ends.
Yeah. You know, I think it wasn't necessarily that we, you know, needed this great distance or this great time apart to heal. I think, you know, I think it was, we just were on very different paths, you know, and it was a difficult thing to bridge without a very definite reason to bridge it, you know, and this sort of forced us all to consider it and think about it. And for me personally, I just thought, well, I could, you know, this could be really difficult, or I could try and realize in my own head that everything that's difficult about this doesn't matter to any BNL fan or any, you know, music listener or whatever. It's all interpersonal, like, it's sausage factory stuff that nobody needs to know about, you know. I just want to give the people their tasty hot dogs.
Actually, you know what? With a little bit of ketchup, you know, Dijon ketchup.
Yeah,
that's right. I go back and immediately think of the story that you told me last summer about the first time you played Universal Studios. First time you played without Steve at Universal Studios, and there were lots of people in that audience. And you got 2 songs in and realized that they didn't care. It didn't matter who was on stage. They were there for the songs.
They didn't even know who I was, let alone that Steve was gone. So that was a real wake up moment where, you know, we had really, really stressed about that first show, and realized that people were there to have a good time and they didn't care about the drama. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's a great opportunity to put all of that aside and really celebrate what the band has meant to us.
Exactly.
And what the band has meant to so many people for so long. It's really great.
Exactly. Geddy Lee's introducing you?
Yeah, I understand he's from a very popular Canadian group. I'm not too familiar myself. I reached out to Geddy and said, "Look, this is a dream ask. This would be an actual and specific dream come true for me, but I am also a grown-up now, so if it doesn't happen, it's okay, but I have to ask."
But he
was great. He responded. Oh, he responded right away, and he was like, "Man, I would love to make this happen for you guys, and I'm going to do my best to do it." So when I got the news that Geddy was going to be able to make it work, I was just thrilled.
And you're going to do, "If I Had $1 Million" with some extra vocals in there, I understand.
Yeah, we're going to have as many guests as would like to join us. In the spirit of that original recording, we just invited everyone in the Toronto music scene to come by the studio that day. So there's a ton of people on the recording, and we're also going to have Barenaked alumnus Andy Cregan back for the performance, which is quite fun as well. Yeah.
Just the one song?
2 songs, actually.
What will be the second one then?
We're going to do a popular little number called "1 Week," a lesser-known #1 hit by the Barenaked Ladies.
How's the Fake Nudes doing?
It is. I love it. It's in heavy rotation on the Barenaked Ladies tour bus.
Heavy rotation.
That's not true. We actually don't listen to our own records very often, but it certainly was in heavy rotation on the Canadian tour. We played a lot of material from the new record, and I love it. I love the record.
Well, now I know you played Vegas just last night, the night before, and and you're playing all over the place. But there is something very, very, very special about playing the Junos, because it's our show. And I think back to I think back to Katie Lang, and a couple of times that she was on that show, especially when she did the Cohen song "Hallelujah." Just goosebumps. Yeah. So, how are you going to feel standing on that stage and doing those things? Do you know what that's going to feel like yet?
I can't know what it's going to feel like yet, but I know that I'm excited about it. I have enjoyed every opportunity we've had to perform on the Junos. We even hosted the Junos back in 2002 and had an absolute blast doing that out in St. John's, Newfoundland, one of the greatest places on the planet.
Exactly.
But performing on the Junos is cool because all your peers are there, all your friends, and it's a real honor. And this year is going to be a wild one. Like I honestly am still having a little trouble getting my head around the Hall of Fame induction. But it's going to be pretty special.
Last question. National Music Center in Calgary. Are you already on those shelves? Have they already displayed something from you?
Well, I went through a bunch of old boxes, and that stuff is in the process of being sent out there. And they're setting up the exhibit now. But I found some pretty cool, contact sheets from the first ever Barenaked Ladies photo shoot when it was just Steve and I. Some handmade shoes that I made for my older sister.
Nice.
When I was like 19 years old.
Nice. With
the band logo on them that painted by me. All kinds of, and lots of JUNO Awards and record awards and handwritten lyrics from early records. And
okay, two things.
I had a lot of stuff in boxes. Turns out I'm actually a huge Barenaked Ladies fan.
Oh, nice. Two things. Did you find a yellow cassette?
I have a box of yellow cassettes that I found. Yes.
Excellent.
So check eBay shortly. And I'll even sign them and make them out.
Thank you. And did you find a Speaker's Corner that they could maybe display?
You know what? I found a giant box of VHS and Betamax tapes from early BNL TV appearances, and I'm sure the Speaker's Corner appearances on there somewhere.
Congratulations on your induction into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. The lot of you, all of you.
Thank you, Terry. You have interviewed us at every single stage of our career, and it's always a pleasure, man.
Thanks, mate. That's it for this week's Mulligan Stew podcast. If you enjoyed the show, and we hope you did, please remember to subscribe via iTunes, or you can find the podcast on Google Play Music.